So here we are in 4.6, and we have some great new features here. So now when I go to create a new lesson, I get this prompt. So I can start with a blank lesson, or I can use one of these lesson templates as a starting point. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Minty here. And if I click on it, I can go ahead and view some of the sample pages, or all of the sample pages. And if I decide that I like this theme, I'll just go ahead and say create a lesson. So after a moment, it has gone ahead and created a brand new lesson with a bunch of different pages, all with the same visual style and theme. So this is a great way to start a new lesson, or you can copy and paste either objects or entire pages into an existing lesson, or you can just kind of use this as a starting place to play around. So it comes with a default layout, and then if I preview this, I can go through this lesson and even use this new layout dropdown to switch to a different layout. So here it has a default layout and a phone portrait layout. So if I switch over to that, now I can see what it would look like if it were being viewed on a phone. The next new feature is lesson scaling. So we have a more in-depth video tutorial on this. We'll just take a quick look at how it works. So under Edit and Lesson Settings, we now have the option to scale on desktop. So I'm going to choose Scale to Width and Height. And now when I publish, or even when I preview, what it will do is it will scale my lesson up to fit the space available. So you can see this is already sort of scaled up, and if I were to maximize this, it's scaled up quite a bit here. So I have this set to scale to width and height, which means it's going to grow until it either hits the top and the bottom or the left and the right. So if I were to make this a little bit smaller here, now it's scaling and it's bumping into the sides, so it's not going to scale beyond that. Another new feature here is the search feature within the authoring environment. So we can go to Edit and Search. And here we can go ahead and type in any text that we want to search for. So I could look for the word choice and hit enter. And it'll show me all of the different objects in this lesson that have the word choice in them. Or I could search for lorem. There's a bunch of lorem ipsum text, and this will return a list of all of the different objects that contain that. We can also search for fonts. I think every object in this lesson is using Roboto. We could also search for styles. So if we search for, say, background, we could find every object that is using a style with background. This is also great for particular objects that you might need to search for, or more importantly, objects that have been tagged with something. Sometimes those are kind of hard to find. So let's say you're using closed captions, using tags on a bunch of different objects throughout your lesson. You can get a list of them all here. So we might search for correct, and here we can see which objects are currently using the tag of correct. Some other new features include some of the view options. So here we can switch between the different views that we made available. So there's a default view, which is what we're looking at here. The stage view, which prioritizes the stage for smaller screens. We also have the action view, which prioritizes the stage, the cast, and the actions. And we also have the ability to create a custom view. So let's say you're building some very complex logic, and you want to prioritize, say, just the cast and the actions. And you don't even want to look at the authoring stage here. So here we're just looking at cast, and we have plenty of room for our actions. So you can go to View and say Custom View, Update Custom to match current view. So we'll do that, and now this has been saved. So here we can switch between, say, the default view and then we can switch back to our custom view that we just saved. So we can easily switch between two of those views, your customized and one of the three predefined views. Additionally, let's say we have a white background and a white page background. So we'll go under lesson settings, and under authoring, we want our, let's say we have our window color set to white and our stage color set to white. It can be hard to find where the actual edges of your page are. So under the view menu, you can choose stage border, and that will just show a little line around the actual size of your page. Some other new features around text include the fact that all new lessons will use Roboto as their default font. That's an open source font that's easily bundled within a lesson, so you get a more consistent look and feel when you publish. It also looks a little bit better. We also have the ability to break apart text. So let's say we have some text here with some line breaks in it. We can right-click and say break apart, and that will create three separate text objects now from that one that we had before. Additionally, we have revamped the styles and themes, including creating a bunch of different styles for common objects. That's more easily seen here in one of our starter lessons. We can take a look at the style sheet page in one of our starter lessons, and here we can quickly update all of the styles throughout our lesson by simply selecting an object, say choosing a different font, and then going to update current style from object, and now anything that's tagged with heading 1 is going to use that particular font. So it's much easier to make global changes throughout your lesson. There's a video tutorial that goes over this process in more depth. So those are some of the bigger updates in this release. There are other bug fixes and enhancements, so check out the release notes for a full list of all of the new features. You should be prompted to download the latest version of SmartBuilder, or you can check for updates. Or you can download it from the portal. Happy authoring!